Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here, hope you're well. We're going to go into part one, which is making our character move, making a character itself, and of course creating a space, just a simple space where you want your character to actually be. So this is in step one, game space and player control. Make sure you've expanded it and you've got your page here. The video that you're watching will be inside this area here. Open up the teacher notes so you can see what you're focusing on, and we are looking for movement that should be smooth and predictable, and we should see that a common misconception here for most people is forgetting about where the collision walls are. What this means, collision walls is where your character bumps into something and can't go off the screen or can't go beyond a certain space that you've created. So we're going to go and create tile maps in this as well. And so our steps are fourfold. We've got create a player and sprite, add some controller movement. That's relatively simple, it's just a few blocks. Design a simple space. I've got some examples for you, but you can start to experiment with it. And then add walls and boundaries. Most of you though, I would expect, will go into the extension, and this is where we go straight into understanding a thing called variables. And a variable allows you to go and make your character go slower or quicker, okay, depending on what you want to do with your character. So arcade MakeCode, this is the same one on iPad. I would suggest though that you go into Safari for this and just see if it works better in Safari than it does in something like Edge. There is no difference between any browser on an iPad, okay, unless you live in Europe. So Edge is just something that has a skin over Safari, okay? So Safari will probably be your best bet for this to start off with. If things break in there, so far it hasn't with me, but iPad users go into Safari. Make sure you're signed in and go in with your Microsoft account. If you go in with your Google account and you sign in with the Google account, sometimes these games here can disappear, okay? So go and sign in with Microsoft. So I've given you this. This is a game, a basic blank, which is called Digital Media Investigation. I'm just going to move my things out of the way. I'm going to hide this. And so it says here, Digital Investigation Bureau is your game. And it'll say blank at the end. Just make sure it's got blank at the end. So I'll have given you a link for that inside our chat. These are the blocks we're going to start with. Okay, so when I go into here, it says set my sprite to this sprite kind of player. What that means is that whatever sprite is in here has a particular kind and it has a particular type, and it is a player. So you've got different things in here that you can rename. You can see that I've gone and added things in here for our game. You've got food, enemy, projectile. I know some of you will already know this. This is for people who don't know. And you get this inside your sprites because it is blue. I know most of it here is red, but it is in the blue sprite section because the red section is for your controller. So I'm going to go to my sprites and it's there at the top, and you can grab it and pull it in if it's not there already. Okay, and I can just bring it like this. What we want to do is make sure that our sprite can move with buttons, and they are WASD on your keyboard, or if you're on an iPad, you're going to have to go and use the joystick here, the joypad, unless of course you have a keyboard attached to your iPad, and most of you do. This is going to be important in a second. The camera follows my sprite. Now I don't have to go into game for this or scene. Instead, what you can do is when you type in camera in here, you can see that there is a search function inside here for you to go and grab the necessary parts if you don't have them, okay? However, you'll notice that it is the same as scene, and that's where you go and grab it from. It's got the same color, so we'll go into scene. Okay, so I'm gonna go and just go and bin that one. I don't need that. So this is the basics. Now inside this blank, I've also given you a whole bunch of characters in here. And so we can talk about these later, but they've got all kinds of digital media, including AI. And of course, we have some tile maps, and you can see that one of them is half done, and that's the one we're going to be using in a second. So let's go and take a look at my first character. So I'm going to go and choose my character. So this is either UA or UB or UG. Okay, it depends which character you want to be. Okay. And if I just pull myself out of the way, I think I've got an OK. done, and I go and grab my character, and I'm going to go and add my character into my blocks. So let's go into my blocks. Let's go and tap on the grey box, go to my asset, and then choose my characters that are suited for my sprites. So I'm going to go and choose UB. I'm going to go and move myself and hit done. And my character will then go and join me in the middle of my screen. And there we are, ready to play. Next, we need to go and create a tile map. So in our tile map, we need a place for our character to go and move. And so we need to go and create a scene. So we can go and set a background image, and we can go and set our tile map to be something after we start moving. So let's go and set our tile map to be a tile map. Just go and put that at the top. And the reason I'm going to put this at the top is because I want this to appear first before anything else. So in this start menu, in this start container, everything goes in order from the top to the bottom. Okay, so it goes and puts the sprite first, or your tile map first, whichever one you want to be put in first, because you can put, as you'll find out, you can put story tweaks before the game even begins, and so you can tell a proper story. At the moment, I don't have a tile map because it's blank. Let's go and click on the tile map and go to my assets, and then if we get the one that is half done, you can go and grab this one, and you can see that inside a tile map you have things that are bright red and things that are darker red. Let's take time to look at this. Okay, so we're going to show our walls, and you can see that this whole section here, as I toggle it on and off, this is showing where my walls are. Okay, and my walls are made with this. So if I just hover my mouse over there like that, it'll say draw walls. Now, if I go and draw walls, you'll notice that I have something attached to my mouse, my pointer. Those of you who are on iPads, you can connect a Bluetooth mouse to your iPad, and you can turn your iPad into a pointer, and you can have a pointer like this. Okay, so if you go and explore that, you can find out how that works. You can see that I've drawn some tile maps in here already. Excuse me, I just need to cough. And this is going to prevent my character from walking through this area here. I can also erase these areas like this with my eraser, and I can go and draw these areas here. So I want to go and put these in like that. I'm going to move my face out of the way for a second and put myself in the middle, and then hit done. And then my tile map will appear behind my character as this starts to move. Now, you'll also notice that my character is inside the walls. We don't need to worry about that just yet. We can set a position for our character later on. We don't need to worry about that just yet. So if I go full screen, okay, I can now go and start my game, and my character will move around, and you can see that it goes off the screen. So that's where the camera to follow my character is important. You can see that my character will not go past here. So let's go and move over here. But you can see that my character will go off screen. Let's go and change that so that we can get the camera to follow my character. And let's go and refresh that and go full screen. And now the camera follows my character. Now you can see that I'm trying to press down here. You can see that I'm trying to press down. I'm using the S key, and it can't go down because I've drawn those walls in here. Okay, so that's as far as we want to get today. We've made a character, we've made it move. It's got some predictability because we know how to use the keys. Okay, and so your speed here is your extension. So your extension is going to be posted later on, but this is the basics. Your extension will be using the variables which are inside these bits here, inside the plus section. So there are extensions in here. They're the bits I want you to make. I want you to go and test it out, see how far you get, and then hope that you get to the extension. As always, good luck.